Welcome back to the Breaker Broz. We have special guest Drew with us, and I thought it would be a good time for us to start some fantasy talk. I was doing some research looking into seeing where they have Bengals ranked, and actually came across this article. So we're going to run through this. This is an ESPN, I believe, a PPR draft with some of their analysts. So we're going to go through the draft, kind of see where they have the Bengals ranked, and kind of react to it. So let's just go ahead and start off.
I'm going Joe Burrow round one in my fantasy football draft.
You're picking Joe Burrow round one?
Yeah. I got sniped last year. Hopefully I get him.
I don't want to give any spoilers, but I'm actually surprised how low he went in this draft, but we'll see when we get there.
Yeah. All right. So who's our first Bengal according to the experts?
Well, according to the experts of ESPN, our first Bengal picked is at number 16 with Joe Mixon. I believe that's Matt Berry.
Yeah. Okay.
I like Mixon. I feel like he's rated a bit low here, though.
Yeah. I would put him at the top of round two. I'm low on Cam Akers. Yeah, I can see him sneaking in. Also, Aaron Jones. You got Aaron Jones at 8, right? I guess they're assuming Aaron Rodgers is going to be in Green Bay, because if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play for Green Bay next year, I mean, I'd have to think that that's going to significantly tank Aaron Jones' value, right?
Well, that's the question, though. If he doesn't play for them, does he just get a ton more carries?
Well, what if Love is pretty good?
Yeah.
Or what if they trade him and they get another quarterback back? Like, you have to see what happens after this deadline for the cap hit.
Has there been any updates with Julio Jones?
He's narrowed it down to like 16 teams, so no.
Okay. Are the Bengals in play?
No, they are not.
Oh, come on. Come on, Julio.
My guess is it's going to be Tennessee, but I don't know if they have the cap space.
They would improve significantly with him. All right, let's focus on fantasy. Okay, so we got Joe Mixon. We think he's too low. So let's get to the fun part. Who's next? I mean, I think I remember from skimming the list that we're gonna hit wide receivers here soon.
Yeah, it looks like most of round 3, you running backs. Now you start to get into the receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at all those young receivers. Like, that's crazy.
Dobbins, well, that's a running back. A.J. Brown,
Jefferson, Metcalf. And you've got all these guys over, like, people that are established in the league, like Mike Evans. Like, holy cow. That's impressive.
Yeah. Round 4. Looks like it's still actually more of a mixed bag between receivers, tight ends, and
there's a guy, Terry McLaurin. We have like half dozen
Washington.
Terry McLaurin rookie cards from one of our earlier case breaks.
He seems like a solid player, though.
Yeah, he's a speed demon.
Yeah, we like him. We hope he breaks all the records. We'll be rich.
All right. Round 5, we get our second Bengal, and it's the first receiver off the board, Jamar Chase, at the very end of the round.
Okay. I like Jamar Chase, obviously, but in career-wise, yeah, he's going to be I'm very bullish on his prospects, but if I were picking wide receivers just on the Bengals, I would pick T. Higgins first. I think he's got the leg up on Jamar Chase. I don't know. What do you think, John?
I would definitely take Chase over Higgins, just for the simple fact that he is going to be the number one option. I think the offense is going to be built around a little bit more of getting Chase the ball. But at the same time, I can see where you're coming from, because of Chase, it's actually going to open up a lot for Higgins. So, I mean, there is a pretty good chance that, Higgins could actually have more production.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because you think of Chase, right, compared to 2020 AJ Green, right? Hopefully he's better, right? I don't think any player gets picked 5 if they expect him to have lower production than what AJ Green had in 2020. Right? So you have that attention. And if you look at Higgins' numbers from last year, if they go up 20 10, 20%, I think Chase will have a hard time topping that because I think that he's going to get a lot of attraction from the defense too, right? Like the offense is going to flow through him, fine, but then the defense is going to key on stopping him. And now you've got, second year T. Higgins with playing opposite a little bit better player than what he had last year. I could see him making a significant jump. What do you think about that, Drew?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I had T. Higgins last year for fantasy, and he was very good for me. He was, 20 points a game. But I think really what it comes down to is like who's the wide receiver one? Who's like the top guy on the depth chart? Are they going to give it to Jamar Chase, depending on what happens in training camp, or is T. Higgins going to be like the guy like he was last year? And honestly, I think right now we have two receivers that are like deep threat receivers.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think that opens the door for Tyler Boyd if Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are like stretching the safeties downfield. I think that opens Tyler Boyd up. So it could honestly, like, all three of those receivers, I think, are probably pretty solid bets
Yeah.
for fantasy. I mean, Jamar Chase just has the most explosive potential, I think.
And call me crazy, but I can actually see all three of our receivers hitting 1,000 yards. I know it's out
if
there.
The line holds out.
Yeah, but
Has that ever happened before?
I think so. I'm pretty sure the Chiefs done
Probably.
it. Pretty sure. I feel like the Chiefs have done it.
I know Tyreek and Kelsey both had 1,000 last year, but I don't know if anybody else did because they both had like closer to 1,500.
Maybe that's too much of a hot take, but I feel like Boyd is
hot.
going to
It's
steaming. But
probably the 07 Patriots, honestly.
But I feel like it's not too far out there because I mean if you just look at Joe Burrow's rookie year and how many attempts that he had.
To take a little spice off your take, there is one more game.
There is one more,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
One more game that could be the difference.
So not such a hot take, just a solid analysis.
There's Travis Etienne. Interesting.
Yeah. So Etienne's pretty low.
I feel like that might be a good sleeper. I don't know. I think he's actually in a good spot. I mean, but I feel like he's a good running back. Like if you can't get those upper echelon running backs like in the top 3 rounds, he's a good back to get in the mid rounds. Because I feel like if you're going for him in this round, then you probably have a few solid receivers already from the earlier rounds. But he would not be a bad pick at all, especially around the 6th round or mid rounds or whatever. Yeah. Because he's going to get all those different touches. I heard they lined him up as receiver as well. So like.
Well, but the Jaguars are going to be like a complete crapshoot this year, right? Because nobody knows.
I think they're going to be in this similar mold as like with Burrow and our head coach. Like they're young and new to the league, and they're basically just going to allow him to do what he needs to do and just dissect the defenses.
Yeah, I think honestly they're in the same. Well, I mean I think they have considerably less overall talent as a team. Right now, but I think they're kind of in the same situation. New head coach, new quarterback, young, young skill guys.
They do a Tim Tebow, so when's he getting picked?
I know, yeah.
That's gonna be my second round pick. I'm gonna go Burrow, then I'm gonna go Tim Tebow.
If he makes the roster.
For tight end, and then I'm just going to draft Bengals wide receivers after that.
Look how far Beckham has dropped. That's crazy. And then
it's because the ACL.
Andrews, that seems kind of low, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
No Bengals in the 7th round. You got Hunt, Schuster, Connor, Lamar Jackson, Chark. No surprises there. And then round 8. Oh, we have 2 Bengals.
Okay. So I guess I have the hot take, right? Because I had T. Higgins as like the first Bengals wide receiver I would take, and then so Josh, you went with Jamar Chase, and then Drew was like Tyler Boyd, and I'm like, no, T. Higgins is the guy. So,
well, okay,
I don't know. The experts don't agree with me.
I don't think I said Tyler. Okay, Tyler Boyd is a sleeper pick, I think, because of the deep threat, but I would still probably take Higgins first because he's proven.
Yeah. So you want to look at the wide receiver kind of rankings and see who's around the Bengals and who we would put ahead, who we would downgrade and upgrade the Bengals over. Okay, so all of our guys are between 24 and 31. So, and I, like I've said before, right? My feeling, especially this is off-season Bengal fan talk. Everybody's going to be healthy. The line's going to be good. It's sunny in Cincinnati. Well, not today, but tomorrow will be sunny. It's not snowing. We're happy. So I think, if you go by the assumption that they fix the offensive line, that Joe Burrow's going to be good to go. I just think these rankings are low, like 24, 25, 31. One of these guys are going to be a top 10. One of Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd is going to be a top 10 receiver.
I can see that happening, honestly. Like if Joe Burrow's, fully all the way healthy on opening weekend.
We need to stop saying if with Joe Burrow. So Joe Burrow is going to be like a stud, right? He's going to start his Hall of Fame campaign. And one of these dudes is going to be a top 10 person. And I think that the worst of the three is still going to be like a top 30 type player. So
I can see that.
PPR, right? Like I think that, Tyler Boyd is going to get the slot looks, and then Jamar and T. Higgins, are going to be your outside guys.
I think Boyd is like criminally slept on. Maybe not amongst fantasy, but like in general amongst the NFL community, it seems like Tyler Boyd just kind of never ever comes up.
Yeah, well, let's not trash the whole community. Let's just trash the media. I think Tyler Boyd is not talked about enough. I think that he just, to me, strikes me as a player that if you're like in the league or a coach, you know about Tyler Boyd.
I think the problem is that no one really knows like what our ceiling is. So like they kind of lumped all of our receivers in basically the mid 20s and high 30s, which is actually, if you think about it, to have three receivers essentially in the top 30 for fantasy, it's not really that bad. But I feel like maybe they're underestimating Chase a little bit, and Higgins. I think for Boyd to be where he's at is still pretty good for him to be the third option. But I do think they're probably undervaluing all of our receivers just because we don't know like what our true potential is on offense too. So like, I don't know, but it's still in the grand scheme of things because like to me we definitely should have a receiver probably closer to top 15, maybe top 10. We just don't know because he's a rookie. But we could speculate. Yeah. T. Higgins is more proven to me. He should definitely be in the top 20. Like just I get because you get Chase, you might get less since he's not technically the number one option anymore. You might not get the same looks, but at the same time, he's really going to open a lot for T. Higgins. And then,
but I felt like the way that the Bengals ran their offense last year, like AJ Green was still the first option. It's just that he didn't have his normal production.
Really, the third, or I guess the outside factor too, is how our defense is going to try to stop us too, right? So that's going to be the biggest unknown. Is what's going to dictate, okay, who's going to get the more options or the more looks. Is it going to be Higgins or Boyd? Because our team's going to try to stop all the big plays and protect the outside and leave more stuff in the middle open for Boyd, or is it going to be the opposite where, the one thing we did struggle on offense last year was the deep passes. Are they going to make us try to throw it deep and prove that we can do it? So, it really just depends on how the defense is trying to attack us too. So, but we just have so many options. It's just whatever the defense gives us is who's going to perform.
I feel like the deep pass is probably going to be more reliable this year, just because Burrow's a little bit more experienced now. Like that seemed like the thing he struggled with the most. I watched the opening Chargers game, and he missed like 3 or 4 wide open deep passes. He just overthrew them. I think that's a thing that comes with experience, honestly.
My theory is that he overthrew AJ Green so much because he was just so used to how fast Jamar Chase and Jefferson was that when
Jamar would have had those.
Yeah, he was just so used to like how fast they were running. That's why he kept on overthrowing them. Because AJ definitely didn't have the speed that
No.
we're used to seeing,
Yeah.
like just that explosiveness. That
I think that was part of our problem last year. Is we tried to force one more year of AJ Green.
and I
When
get
we
it.
didn't really
I'm not
have another
gonna.
year of
I
vintage AJ Green.
I
That's
couldn't believe how
Yeah,
much he dropped
I'm not
off.
gonna
jumping over
say
people.
not gonna say anything bad about AJ Green.
No.
Just it's just like
It's just too
maybe
many injuries,
for
man.
whatever happened for whatever happened last year, the production wasn't what we're used to. I don't know if it was the
It's because I
offense
think
or
it's honestly it's because
what.
of the injuries he had the last couple of years. It just slowed him down a little bit.
Okay, I just want to highlight this. So
Ugh.
Justin Herbert, 84,
Yeah.
round 9. So we
Okay.
just left round 8, round 9. Still no Bengals. I mean, there's only one that comes to mind, right? So round 10, round 11.
CJ Uzama.
Who could it possibly be? Who could
Hold on, I'm trying to see if
possibly be
there's
the
any
next
other
Bengal?
quarterbacks. Okay, we got Russell Wilson. Wow, really?
Oh,
Hubbard
under
over
Justin Herbert? Whoa.
Wow. Okay, that's
Okay.
Here we go. Okay. Let's see. Just trying to look for all the quarterbacks. Okay, Lance. They put Trey Lance. What?
That is
No.
ridiculous. That's crazy.
He's not even the starter.
I mean, he's going to be the starter, but
Probably.
think?
Well, it
Week
depends
one?
if Garoppolo's going to start or not. That seems like their quick side tangent. The 49ers are probably not going to keep Garoppolo because he is the polar opposite QB from what Trey Lance is. Garoppolo's like a pure pocket passer kind of guy, and Lance is more of like, your modern running QB. And that requires two different systems.
plus
So,
there's more value in
But-
trading him.
yeah.
But
Garoppolo's contract is so huge, though.
But the thing with Garoppolo is that he's already kind of signaled, right, that he's willing to be like the Alex Smith to Trey Lance. So maybe he
Yeah.
sticks around this year, and maybe Trey Lance doesn't start week 1. If he's not starting week 1, there's no way he's going to catch up to Joe Burrow's production. Yeah, round 14, man. All I got to say is if I was in this fantasy football league, I'd be winning it, right? Because they're picking the Browns defense over Joe Burrow.
And Amon-Ra
And
St.
not even
Brown.
that, P. Ryan got picked before Burrow, which I mean, I
can
appreciate.
kinda see that.
I mean, yeah, well, I don't.
No, I can't see that
I
at
don't.
all.
I think
I would win this league. They got Deshaun Watson ahead of Joe Burrow.
right.
I don't
Deshaun
even know if he's
Watson's
going to play.
Deshaun
Right.
Watson's going to be suspended for the entire season.
But to be fair, they have Tom Brady though, so you're not too far from Tom Brady.
Okay.
That seems kind of odd.
133, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I remember in one of the first mock draft I think I did, I got flamed for picking Amon-Ra St. Brown. So if whoever said that is watching now, you got to flame this guy here.
Yeah. Find Dop's email address and send it to that guy.
Yeah, and there's just a run of defenses. So yeah, this is basically in. I just can't. 14th round, I guess. Hold on, let's see when they did this draft. I'm a little disappointed. I feel like May 18th. That's that wasn't too far.
Pretty
Well,
recent.
I guess
It's only like 2 weeks.
I think that came right before like all the videos came out with Joe Burrow and like
Yeah.
and even
That's
the
true.
report of him being like
Almost
I guess
100%.
yeah, I guess all systems go for the beginning of the season. So they probably didn't have that reassurance that he's going to start at the beginning of the season. Just round
Fair
14
enough.
just seems
that would
really
explain
low.
it. That would explain it.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
if they
I
did
feel
it
like it's like,
again, maybe all the Bengals move up a few slots.
I just
we're
don't
not
see
even through minicamp.
the discrepancy though. Like they have so 84 because in my opinion, all things equal, if Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow were both fully healthy last year, I still think if Joe Burrow was able to finish the year, that he would have won the Rookie of the Year. I just don't understand how he well, and of course, if it is an injury concern or if that's what they're worried about, him not actually playing a full season,
oh no doubt.
I can kind of see that. But man, that's
Just your media bias, man. Big market player.
Well,
They
and
don't. These people doing these articles probably never watched a Bengals game from start to finish.
I mean, they even have Trey Lance. I mean, I'm high on Trey Lance, but I mean, you just can't put him ahead of Joe Burrow. Like Trey Lance doesn't even. I'm actually they do have a good offense. So I mean, but I still wouldn't do that. I
just
would
don't
put
see
Deshaun
Trey
Watson.
Lance as being the week 1 starter for the 49ers.
yeah, I feel like this changes a lot after training camp. This is like all pure speculation right now. Like we've seen OTAs, but not all these guys went to OTAs.
True.
And it's just
Well, don't
honestly,
worry.
I think you have to wait until after training camp
This is
to
just
like
draft
taking this
analyst
stuff
1.0.
seriously.
We'll be back with more
Yeah.
updates. It's maybe we'll do our own little live draft, fantasy draft, or maybe not live but record it.
All right. Yeah.
They have
As
all
long as,
three Packers
as long as I get to
running
pick
backs
first, I'll do it because I'm getting.
Are you really going to pick Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
I'll give you the first
smoke
pick
you.
if that's what you're going to do.
I'll smoke you.
for the
Joe
content.
Burrow, pick one, number one overall. I'll win it all.